Finn over here being hard-headed again. But hey, y'all, welcome back to another review of Life with Chelsea for the Bold and Beautiful July 8, 2024. Okay, y'all, so they wouldn't let me import my intro. I don't know why. But we got to talk about Finn. I said he didn't listen about Sheila, about staying away from Sheila. And now he ain't listening about staying away from Hope. Then what gets me, he keep on telling Hope about how amazing she is and any man would be lucky to have you and Thomas wasn't good enough for you. He was never good enough for you. I said, you act like you know her. I said, when y'all do hang out, y'all just talk about Thomas or Sheila or something like that. I said, you act like you know her. But Steffi had already told him to stay away from Hope. Then his mom on today's episode, Lee to be specific, told him to stay away from Hope. Basically, she a bad influence. And he stopped by Forced Creation to get something of Steffi's or whatever. And he seen Hope and he seen something was bothering her. I said, look, I wrote down, I said, he always got to try to save somebody every time. But I don't skip over a whole part. Hope and Thomas. Okay, Hope and Thomas. So he asked her a third time to marry him. But the reason he said, we gonna say that, he said that the reason why he asked her to marry him a third time is because he already knew what she was gonna say. He only asked her to marry him again because he knew she would say no. I said, yeah, okay. We'll see. We'll see about that. Paris over here, she was outside talking to Ridge and Brooke, and I said, go in the house. Go in the house so you see him holding her hands and stuff and asking her to marry him or whatever. And I was hoping that when he finally met up with Paris or she came in and saw him, that he would tell her, look, I just want to let you know that I proposed to Hope, but I only did it to prove a point that she wasn't into me. She didn't want to marry me. It wasn't like I actually wanted to marry her, something like that. But nope, he didn't tell her. And I say, you know what's crazy? Hope keep on telling Thomas how he shouldn't marry Paris. Basically, she feels like he's running for something. And my thing is, when he asked you to marry him again, you still didn't say nothing. You didn't want to. She still don't want to marry him. And not just that. Y'all know they showed a preview of, I think Finn's supposed to be massaging her again. And y'all know what happened when he massaged her. She started thinking about him. So I was like, what happens if Thomas listens to you? If he thinks, okay, you know what? I'm going to still be in a relationship with Hope. I ain't going to ask her to marry me again, but we going to be together. And then you over here lusting over Finn. But I do like what Thomas said to Hope, though. He ends up, let me make sure I didn't skip over something. He ends up telling her that his heart is whole now that he's found love with Paris. Tells Hope that she'll find her person and everything. And that's the same thing he told Paris. But I don't know. The way Paris speaks about Thomas is different compared to how he speaks about her. Then you got Brooke over here. She be dry snitching. She keep implying there's something going on with Hope. And Ridge was like, what does that mean? He keeps saying, what does that mean? Something's going on. Tell me what's going on and all this other stuff. But she was speaking about how she's worried about Hope. She's worried that Hope would do something she'll regret. I said, go on, tell him. Then Brooke gonna have the audacity. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did she say on today's episode that she feels like Paris is a distraction for Thomas? I said, not you being against that relationship the entire time they were together. Now that they broke up, now that he moving on, you over here talking about Hope is this and Hope is that. I said, look, I know that's your daughter and all, but still. I said, Hope keep talking about not too long ago, Thomas proposed to her, which is true. And I said, not too long ago, Brooke was saying how Hope is a distraction for Thomas about how he was obsessed with her and all this other stuff. I said, make up y'all mind. We might as well get Hope out the way. Finn told her something. When he first came in and she was saying, how did you hear about the engagement and everything? He told her, you didn't want to marry him. And I said, okay, exactly. You didn't want to marry him. I said, what you want the man to do? Wait on you forever? And I said the craziest thing, I don't know if I said the craziest thing, but the saddest part about all of this is, even if he is currently serious about marrying Paris, if the show continues to go how it's been going with the whole Brooke and Ridge and what's her name, Taylor and Steffi, Liam and Hope, Thomas is going to continue to be obsessed with Hope or into Hope and in love with her, even if he moves on for right now. Lee and Finn was talking or whatever. She stopped by. She over here. She be steady telling him how he need to go home. He's spending too much time. I said that at first. I said, he always at work. And every time he used to be at work, Leon used to be at his house. And I said, you always at the house? You always at work? And her baby daddy is over here. Her child's father is over here at your house, chilling, walking in like he owned the place or something. Does he own the place? I'm confused about that. When I first started watching The Bold and Beautiful, I think at that time Liam and her was still married. I said, wasn't that his house? I don't know. Because I know when he was talking to Ivy, he was saying how, Steffi and her husband lives at the beach house now. But Lee and Finn, they were just talking about him going home to Steffi and putting his wife and kids first. And then they started talking about Sheila and his family again. And he was saying how Sheila knows he's serious. And I said, are you though? And we already talked about how Lee said she doesn't like how Hope is influencing Finn. And she tells him he needs to stay away from Hope too, because she a bad influence. She over here urging him up. And then she spoke on something that I've been saying too, about how he went there. Yeah, you didn't know. He keeps saying how he went for food. Okay, you went for food. I think you went for pizza. You went for pizza or whatever. Then about your legs still work, don't they? I said, he didn't about tell you to stay. I said, he could have easily left. He wanted to stay. And she told him that. She told him that he could have left at any time. And I said, right. And right after she told this man to stay away from Hope, I mean, of course, nobody his boss is so Steffi, but obviously he ain't listen to her either. But after she told him to stay away from this lady, he goes in there. He had one job, to pick up what he left. He could have been like, oh, I hope everything get better for you, and dipped up out of there. He want to go closing doors and stuff. I said, first of all, who told you to close the door? I said, if anything, you need to leave that door open. But that's all that happened, y'all. What did y'all think of today's episode? What are y'all most excited to see on The Bold and Beautiful? Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces, have a great rest of the day and be safe.